Hello and welcome back to my channel. I don't know if any of you even remember I exist because it's been over a year and a half, but I am now back and I figured that I would do something different. Basically, I've been feeling a little stagnant in terms of booktube content, and I just don't really think it's my thing anymore. As I've gotten older, I've been having more migraines. I've had less time since starting university. I've had to deal with all sorts of personal life stress and things like that. And in the end, I just didn't want to do booktube. And there was a lot of problems that I found in it that kind of were pervasive. I couldn't really avoid, like this superiority towards reading, the whole book culture. You're superior if you read. I mean, that's what superiority towards reading means. But a whole bunch of like really ableist stuff too, like the comparisons of how many books a month you can read and how quickly you can read a book and things like that. Which obviously, like if you're dyslexic or if you have a mental illness, it's not that easy. So I decided I don't want to do booktube content normally. I also think that there's a sense of classism in booktube. At the moment, you have to be able to afford all of the nice hardcover copies. You have to be able to afford a nice camera, a microphone setup, good video editing software, a MacBook that has iMovie, if not. And I have none of those because I'm not rich, believe it or not. I may have a West London accent, but I'm not one of the posh Londoners. I get by. And that's that. So the one thing I do have, however, is a 20 quid microphone from Amazon, which I got because I used to podcast, and some some audio editing know-how. And that's where I'm at the moment. So here we are. I figured I can just talk about stuff while I build on The Sims because I've been really loving playing The Sims at the moment. And I think it would be nice to do more like quiet, calm, just chatty videos. I can talk about current issues. I can talk about what I have been reading recently. I can talk about things like that. Just let me know what sorts of things you'd like me to talk about while I'm doing these videos. At the moment, you're seeing me construct a house for the Pleasant siblings in Brightchester. I am trying to make a renovation for theirs. I think this was the final. Yeah, I think that this looks like the final shell that I went for. I struggled a lot. You could probably see I struggled a lot with deciding what sort of shell I was going to give them, just because at first I wanted it to be kind of like in London Townhouse. But the more I tried, the worse it got. And I thought, okay, I just need to demolish everything and start over. So this is my second attempt at constructing a townhouse, this time using a reference image I found on Google. So hopefully it'll go a bit better. Obviously, I put my own spin on it because the reference image was semi-detached and this house is fully detached. So there we go. And I wanted it to be very traditional. It says that they've moved into an old family home, I believe. So again, I thought that would be quite a traditional looking place. It would be quite posh, quite fancy. And I thought that the best way to accomplish that would be columns, apparently. It has actually been several weeks since I recorded the first part of this. I kind of lost my inspiration halfway through. Originally, there were specific things I was going to talk about, but with time and distance, I don't know if I want to talk about them anymore. Yeah. So here we are, sitting in front of my computer, chatting about a build. I guess I can also talk about other things. I think you don't really need to see most of the exterior. I struggled a lot with windows. You can see what I'm doing. This is not the longest part. I think furnishing it. Actually, no, maybe landscaping is the longest part, but the furnishing was the part that felt longest because I started furnishing several weeks ago and finished furnishing today. And I'm recording this like 10 minutes after finishing and taking the screenshots and everything. Yeah, so here we are. Since I started this, the new Stray Kids album came out. Oh, fun new news. I never thought that I, as a person, would be someone who got into K-pop, and I still don't think I am. Like, I just don't think that the general culture is my thing, but there are some groups that I really like, and I find them very endearing. And one of those groups is Stray Kids, and I've been listening to their new album. Fun fact, because I am studying Mandarin at the moment, I read the title as Inshang, which is not correct. But I always read that character as Shang instead of anything else because that's how I first learned it. That's the context that I know it in. But yeah, it's absolutely full of bops. I think some of my favorites on the album are Backdoor, We Go, Wow. Those ones, I like them the most, I think, because that's mostly my style. One of my friends, I sent her Backdoor. She's had no experience of K-pop, and she said it sounded like a song from Persona. So I'm taking that as a good thing. Oh yeah, here I am just placing the lot because I wanted these two lots to be symmetrical. So I placed a copy of the lot there. I'm not going to work on that lot. I'm just fiddling around, seeing if I can't just easily flip it, but apparently not. So, but yeah, I have also been playing Persona. That is something which I had filmed and recorded and posted several episodes to a gaming channel, which, sorry, I left my phone on. Wow, I'm so unprofessional. I just wanted this to be kind of casual. I don't know, can you tell? I mean, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? What was I saying? Something about Persona. Yes, Persona. So I played several episodes of Persona, Persona 4 Golden, and I really liked it. But as I was playing, I kept feeling it was during a heat wave, which didn't help, obviously. And then I kept playing until I just felt like I just wasn't able to find the joy in it anymore, because every time I went to play, I would think, oh, but I have to record and have voiceover while I'm playing it. And I just can't be bothered. Oh, sorry. I'm literally listening to Stray Kids as I record this. And another song that I forgot to mention came on. The Tortoise and the Hare is also a favourite. I do enjoy it. Yeah. But I got quite... I didn't enjoy playing it anymore. It kind of took the fun out of the game for me because I was recording everything and I was constantly thinking up like, oh, what can I say that's funny? And what can I say that'll entertain people? When really, like with story-based games, I like to just kind of play them quietly myself. Whereas with like these sim speed builds and stuff, it's nice to have something to talk about or someone to talk to while you're doing it. It's very soothing and relaxing. And yeah, that's why I thought maybe I should just do a speed build instead. And that is where we are. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm moving on to the kitchen area. No, the dining room at the moment. I changed up this floor plan, I think very soon. I was struggling a lot with it. Originally, I wanted there to be a downstairs bathroom so I could have 3 baths, 2 bedrooms. But yeah, it didn't work out. It was just, I was struggling to make the floor plan make any sort of sense. The house just didn't work. I don't know how to explain it other than, yeah, it just didn't work. So I had to make several attempts. I really wanted to put a table in that little area because I thought, oh, it's so nice. It's in the sunlight. It's got the fake, what are they called? Sticky outy windows. Yeah. I can speak English. And then the more I did it, the more I was like, oh, I need space for the kitchen. I need space for like an island maybe. And I need space for Sims to actually get through. And then I need space for the living room. It obviously just did not go the way that I wanted it to. Which you can see me fiddling, messing around, trying to squeeze everything in. I really wanted to make it look good. But yeah. Also, the Pleasant siblings are loaded. Have you noticed how much money they have? I think it's like 103,000 on the screen at the moment, which is honestly a lot of money for 2 university students. Like, most of it came from me demolishing and rebuilding their house smaller. And I know a lot of the wealth is in the house, and it's not necessarily... Oh, sorry, I hit the mic. It's not necessarily their own wealth as so much as their families or their parents. It doesn't seem to be entirely clear. But yeah, it's still... I certainly am not living in that sort of abode while studying at university. Not to brag, though, we do have a loft conversion. And there's 4 of us living here. I found out a way to get groceries down to under a tenner a week. I am thrifty. That's how I'm being at the moment. So God, honestly, how long did I take before I realized that this was shit? Oh, the way I decorated it. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Why'd I do that? There's so much. I think I changed a lot as well. Putting the cooker out there, that was me trying to justify the layout by saying, well, the cooker's here. I can't change the plan now because there's a cooker there. If I put a door, spoiler alert, I changed it. I think I was just, when you're building, you kind of know what's, like, whether it's right or not. You know, you can tell if it sucks while you're building. And sometimes you choose to leave it because you're like, it sucks, but it sucks in an acceptable way. And sometimes it just keeps bothering you. Now, my idea for the house and its decorations was mostly going to be that it was Angela who did most of the decoration. I looked up her traits, and she's I think, a foodie and creative and good. And I thought that is ideal. So I thought the kitchen would be her domain. The living room would also be her domain. She picked out the curtains. She picked out the sofas. She picked out... Oh yeah, there's me looking at different swatches. She picked out everything. She picked out the decorations. And really, it's... Lilith's domain is pretty much just her room. I also saw that Lilith is an evil sim, which I have some opinions about the evil trait. I don't think that it's a good trait to put in The Sims because, like, I don't know, I just don't play with it. It doesn't make much sense to me because, I mean, it can be funny, I guess, but yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I don't really play with it ever. And I have decided that I'm probably going to change Lilith's traits. I don't want her to be evil, and I don't want her to be doing a degree in villainy. I've decided in my save file, she's going to be a fashion student, probably a fashion photographer, but maybe a fashion designer. No, actually, I think I went for fashion designer. You'll see later on in her room. But at first, when I was building this house, I mixed up her traits and Angela's traits for some reason. And I thought that she was the artist, so I put all of the art stuff in her room, and then I thought that Angela was a cook, which makes sense considering she has the foodie trait. But then I double-checked her traits, and she's also the artist, so she's the artist and the cook. And Lilith is evil. So yeah, I think it's better for me to just change their traits so that they have more of a... I think it's more interesting when one of the Sims isn't evil. And I also think the degree in villainy is stupid, even if not entertaining. I'm not saying it's not entertaining, because it is. How can I deny that? Okay, here I am, finally changing the layout so that it's less stupid. This is like a big, like it's like all the weight has been taken off of my back watching this. Even though I'm clearly struggling trying to choose a table, I know that your Sims can sit on the chairs at the table, maybe only the first 2 or first 3. I haven't seen them sit on any of the back chairs yet, but I did playtest this briefly. I didn't playtest it to a great extent because obviously I only finished it a little while ago. I just wanted to get it done because it had been weighing on my mind for ages. And yeah, so that's where we're at. I think that's me done with the bottom floor. Yeah. So now I'm moving on to Lilith's floor. I basically decided to give Lilith and Angela a floor each. I thought that this is an old house. They have inherited it. It's from a family member, but it's not something that they necessarily would have chosen. And because they kind of have quite different interests, they have chosen to have their own personal space within the house as well as the community space. It's like a very long, tall, thin house. So where this would have originally been several small rooms, they've probably had some walls knocked down because they're rich, and they have just had these massive, these like giant bedrooms made for themselves. So it's very much more open plan than they would usually go for. Yeah, I literally stayed up at night thinking about the layout of Lilith's room. As you can see, the way I'm doing it right now is not the way that I keep it, because I just really didn't like how it looked, and it was causing me a lot of stress. And in the end, I ended up moving the bed, I moved everything pretty much to rearrange it, just because I really didn't like how it looked, and I wanted it to be a lot more, like the flow of it to be a lot more natural, because this is stupid. Like, looking at it now, it is very much stupid. But I did like it at the time. Well, no, I didn't. Who am I trying to kid? I didn't like it at the time. I think it was this room that broke me and caused me to just run away and not do any more on the house for so long. Because every time I thought about what had already been done. I was like, oh, this isn't one of my best. Another one of my speed builds that I filmed and then didn't record was also not one of... Filmed and then didn't record, sorry. Filmed and then didn't post was also not one of my best, because I had it and then I just voice-overed it and I watched it and I just thought, nah, the layout's shit. I can't post that. And so I didn't post it. And that is where we're at the moment. So hopefully it's not a curse on all of my videos. I think we're nearing the end of before I took my weeks-long break. So yeah, you can see that I'm putting the easel in the wrong place. Yeah, I've used a lot of the paintings. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so I'm back. And what I am doing is moving the bed. And I really found that moving the bed changed the feel of the whole room. It really made the rest of it come together in a way that it really hadn't before. And here I am going through the debug menu because I was looking for little decorations to put in Lilith's room. I like to think that she'd be very into fashion because she has this quite stylish gothic look, which is so cool. I feel like she'd be a TikTok-y girl. I really do love her look so much, which annoys me because it's like she's got such a good look, but they've made her evil for some reason. What? Originally, I'd planned to use some of those presents you saw that I just scrolled by as clutter in Angela's room as like things she's going to gift to her sister, because I thought that would be cute. But in the end, I couldn't be bothered to go looking for them again. And Angela's room actually turns out looking pretty cluttered without extra stuff. Oh yeah, this is the OMSP shelf, which I'm using at the moment to get things up to the right level. It didn't work in this case. You'll see that in a second. But I really do, I did enjoy using it. It is very helpful in a lot of ways, but you have to get it to the right height before putting your stuff on it. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So yeah, I just didn't get it to the right height. That's my fault entirely, not the shelf. I usually just keep one of the shelves in my inventory, the household inventory, and then I'll take it out whenever I need it, put it back. So it's never actually in the actual build, because obviously I want to put my builds on the gallery. I don't want them to have custom content in them. I do have build CC, but the build CC I have is literally just a default replacement for a crib. and that, and then some stuff that came with mods that I have installed. So yeah, those of you with keen eyes will have noticed them. But yeah, I do have a lot of mods installed just for realism and story progression and things like that. Because I wanted my Sims to have periods, and I didn't like the slice of life version of periods, so I went for Wicked Whims. It just seems like kind of a backward one, but it adds in the attraction function and like realistic periods and birth control and all sorts of things. And I genuinely think it's one of the coolest mods I've ever installed. The attraction function is amazing because I can see who my Sims are attracted to. One of my current playthroughs, which is the Berry Sweet Rainbow Sea, my Sim, I originally had a partner planned for her, but then she turned out being really attracted to one of the EA townies. So I thought, heck, why not? So she ended up dating that townie, and now they are married with a child. So there we go. I might put that up and show you parts of that, but since I've already got quite a way through the well, not too far through the playthrough, I've got her to have one baby. I think she's only going to have one baby. I'm not doing it in like a challenge form. Oh, you can see me messing around with my reshade. Yeah, I kept accidentally turning it off because my shortcut keys were, I didn't think them through, let's say. Yeah, I did have a child with her already, and I just thought that she has quite a small house too, so I didn't want her to have too many children because then I would have to change the house, and I thought the house was really cute as it was. And I'm not playing it by any specific challenge rules just because I don't like playing by rules. I like having some sort of guideline to play by, but then just so I can take it and then run with it. So yeah, also these bathrooms suck. I wanted them to have more of a traditional look because it's like they have money, but they don't have enough money to like renovate everything in the house. So they have some things which are left over, like the kitchen and the bathrooms. And the kitchen is, I did the kitchen quite subtly. I just had the idea that Angela repainted the cabinets to be blue because she liked the shade of blue and she wanted it to look nice. Got some new light shades, things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, I think I switched reshade here. This one is the, what reshade is this? Let's play that game. It had like pink in the name somewhere. I don't know. I will link all of the reshades that I use in the description because I absolutely love using reshades in my game. You might notice that it screws with your controls while you're using reshade. Well, I know the fix for that. Yeah, so basically my fix that I use personally, but I think it's one that it works for most people. But the fix that I use is to have Origin in-game turned off, and that helps a lot. And I also don't think having Origin in-game on makes a difference. I've still been able to access the gallery. I've still been able to do all sorts of things while having it off. So I'm not sure if it even does anything in Sims. But yeah, the thing is it just clashes a little bit with reshade, and obviously I am a lover of reshade. Yeah, I think I just changed my shortcut keys because I kept accidentally turning them off when looking for items. I switched them to numbers instead of letters. Of course, the downside to that was later on I was playing in a save, and this was while I took a break from this. I was playing in a save where I had to set someone's relationship and type in the number, and yeah, you can probably guess how well that went. But yeah, I really hated doing the bathrooms for these. They had quite small bathrooms just because I couldn't really fit anything other than a shower. That's the smallest possible size a bathroom can be comfortable, but it doesn't necessarily mean the bathroom is going to look good. And just annoyed the heck out of me. Okay, down here I am now adding something new to Lilith's room because I wanted her to, I thought she's probably a fashion student. And we don't actually have any sewing items in game, which I think is kind of an oversight because I think it would be really cool if we were able to sew stuff. So if the Sims team is listening, please let us sew things. Thank you. It's very important to me. I would really love to be able to have a Sim create their own clothing. I've placed these feathers, bird flowers, feathers on the floor because I had the idea that she's making something like a feathery dress or a feather boa or who knows. And I thought, you know what? That's reasonable tailoring clutter. So yeah, I do sew myself. So I like to think that I have some idea of what sort of clutter you would have if you sew. So yeah, I couldn't find a sewing box, so I used that arts and crafts box from Parenthood instead, which I think worked, but I didn't think the decorations were so nice. Anyway, now I'm on to Angela's room, and since she's oh, never mind, just taking a quick detour. Now I'm on to Angela's room, and since she's quite an arty sim, I thought she would have a lot of wall art in her room and like a lot of art stuff, since she's also doing an art degree. And that is where I came up with like looking through the art categories, finding everything that I could use that I thought, oh, I should have in a room. I also used the season's decorations in there because I keep all of my my art thing in like a plastic tub, and I thought, oh, maybe she would do the same. So that's what that's for. Yeah, and now I'm just placing painting clutter cookbooks because she's a foodie sim. I thought she would love cooking. That's one of her favorite things in the world, whatever. So yeah, that is why there's so many cookbooks. I also placed some cookbooks on her bedside table later because I thought she would be the kind of person to like just sift through some cookbooks before bed. I also want my Sims maybe to be trans. So I'm not sure if it's Angela and Lilith or if it's just Angela, but I wanted to put a trans pride flag in there, but I ended up not doing it just because it didn't seem to fit aesthetically. And in the end, like, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, I really wanted my Sims to be to have that diversity, because one thing that I've noticed in EA is they make a lot of non-binary Sims, like Morgan Ember, the one from Solani, whose name I'm not going to say because I don't want to butcher it. But the thing with that is they never like commit to making them trans. It's always like they have gender non-conforming aspects, but they can still like, but they still have the can get other Sims pregnant things. And it's like, or can get pregnant. I'm like, oh, okay. Because on the one hand, yeah, you need, like, I like to think of them all as non-binary, apart from Leah, the other Solani Sim, who I like to think is a trans woman. But I like to think of them all as non-binary just because it's cool. They kind of have gender-neutral names, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, I don't know anything about the Solani Sims names. But yeah, I do enjoy that headcanon of mine. But yeah, I did want to add more trans Sims to my save file just because it's an important part of representation. So now I'm moving on to landscaping and just adding stuff. I struggled a lot with chimneys. It was not fun. It was not fun. Because in the end, I just ended up putting another bit of roof on and hoping that from the distance it would give the illusion of a chimney. Then I worked on the little courtyard at the back, which is very small, very like just a nice little place to sit in the evenings, I guess. Maybe drink some nectar. The bike, I feel like in my mind is Angela's. I also feel like Angela is the one who did most of the gardening. Lilith seems like more of a techie person to me. So I like the idea that Lilith is the one who's like a social media influencer. She curates Angela's Instagram account for her, things like that. So that is where I wanted to take the inspiration. And well, Angela, of course, is the more practical one. So she's painting, Lilith is designing, she's cooking, Lilith is blogging, she is gardening and Lilith is posting pictures of the garden on Instagram. So yeah, we're near the end of the build now. I accidentally added the music in a little bit early. I think it has started at this point in time. I hope you can hear me over it, but that is my cue to leave. If you have any requests for houses to renovate next, please leave them in the comments, and I will see you all next time. Bye! Oh, and one more thing before I go, I just want to credit Simlicy for the idea to put screenshots at the end of the video. I did not come up with that myself. I just, I saw it and I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea. Okay, bye.